Don Rickles, the legendary insult comic known for his sharp wit and fearless humor, spent decades making audiences laugh, often at the expense of celebrities, politicians, and even his closest friends. But behind the barrage of jokes and pointed quips, Rickles had a life full of untold stories and private truths that rarely made it to the public eye. One of the most shocking revelations came before his death, when he finally spoke candidly about his relationship with Johnny Carson, the iconic host of The Tonight Show. Fans remember the electric chemistry between Rickles and Carson on stage, an effortless back and forth that made late-night television unforgettable. Yet behind the laughs there were complexities, tensions, and private opinions that Don Rickles had kept mostly to himself. Before passing away in 2017, Rickles broke his silence and exposed truths about Carson that stunned both fans and colleagues alike. This story goes beyond comedy or late-night television. It's about friendship, rivalry, and the complicated dynamics of Hollywood legends. Don Rickles' revelations offer a glimpse into the man behind the humor, the bonds he formed, and the grudges he carried, all while maintaining the public image of a man who could make anyone laugh. For decades, the world saw the jokes, but now the truth finally comes to light. Don Rickles wasn't born with a microphone in hand or a stage waiting for his arrival. Born in Queens, New York in 1926, he grew up in a modest household, the youngest of 5 siblings in a family that valued hard work and resilience. His father was a shipping clerk, and his mother, a homemaker, instilled in Don the importance of persistence and confidence. Even as a child, Don displayed a quick wit, often using humor to navigate both family dynamics and social situations at school. That natural talent would later define his career and set him apart in the world of comedy. Rickles' early years were far from glamorous. Like many of his generation, he served in the United States Navy during World War II. The discipline, structure, and exposure to people from diverse backgrounds shaped his ability to read audiences, a skill that would become crucial in his comedic career. After returning from military service, Don enrolled in New York University, initially pursuing accounting. But the allure of comedy proved irresistible. Even part-time performances in small clubs showcased his innate timing, fearlessness, and ability to improvise, a combination that few entertainers possessed. It was during these formative years that Rickles began experimenting with his signature style. Unlike traditional comedians who relied on self-deprecation or observational humor, Don Rickles found a niche in what would become known as insult comedy. His sharp, rapid-fire remarks targeted anyone, from celebrities to audience members, with a balance of biting humor and underlying charm. Early audiences were often shocked, but they were also drawn in by his charisma and confidence. This daring approach set him apart from peers, allowing him to cultivate a devoted following. Even in the crowded comedy clubs of the 1950s, Rickles' rising reputation eventually led him to television, where late-night programs began seeking fresh, bold talent. It was during this time that he first crossed paths with Johnny Carson, who would become one of the most important figures in Don's professional life. On The Tonight Show, Rickles' sharp wit perfectly complemented Carson's quick thinking, creating a chemistry that audiences found irresistible. While the interactions seemed effortless on screen, Rickles' preparation and fearless nature meant he was always ready to push boundaries, ensuring that every appearance was memorable. Behind the scenes, however, their relationship was complex. Rickles admired Carson's professionalism and influence in the industry, but he also harbored frustrations, moments of jealousy and tension that were rarely visible to the public. These early experiences with Carson not only shaped Rickles' understanding of Hollywood dynamics, but also prepared him for the intricate balance of friendship, rivalry, and respect that would define their decades-long connection. By the time Don Rickles was performing regularly on national television, he had already honed the skills, confidence, and audacity that would make him an icon. His early life, rooted in modest beginnings, sharpened by discipline, and nurtured by natural talent, laid the groundwork for a career that would forever change the landscape of comedy. More importantly, it set the stage for the complicated, sometimes shocking truths he would eventually reveal about one of television's greatest hosts, Johnny Carson. By the late 1950s and early 1960s, Don Rickles had begun to make a name for himself in comedy clubs across the United States. His fearless insult comedy was unlike anything audiences had seen before. While some critics dismissed his approach as abrasive, many recognized a unique genius in his ability to make people laugh while walking the fine line between offense and charm. Rickles' reputation grew steadily, and soon, television producers began to take notice. It was during this period that Don first appeared on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. To viewers, the interactions seemed effortless. Quick wit, seamless timing, and a playful back and forth that kept audiences laughing throughout each segment. However, behind the scenes, the dynamic between Rickles and Carson was far more complicated. While Don deeply respected Carson's position as the king of late-night television, he also recognized the immense power and influence Johnny wielded over a comedian's career. Every joke, every remark had to land just right, not only to entertain but also to maintain Carson's approval and favor. Rickles' sharp humor often pushed boundaries, and though Carson valued his talent, there were moments of tension. Don admitted in later interviews that while he loved working with Carson, he occasionally felt constrained by the need to navigate the delicate balance of their on-screen friendship. He admired Carson's professionalism, but he also wanted his own voice to shine, unfiltered and unapologetic. This duality, loyalty mixed with the desire for independence, defined much of their relationship. During these years, Rickles' career expanded rapidly. Appearances on talk shows, variety programs, and comedy specials turned him into a household name. His fearless approach attracted celebrities, politicians, and ordinary audiences alike. Yet, despite the growing fame, Don never lost the personal connection with his craft. He studied audiences meticulously, learning what made them laugh and when to push the line. His ability to balance sharp insults with underlying warmth became his signature style, setting him apart from every other comedian of his generation. Behind closed doors, Rickles' revelations about Carson began to emerge. While the public only saw laughter and camaraderie, Don knew nuances that few others witnessed. He spoke of Carson's meticulous preparation, his behind-the-scenes influence, and even moments of tension that could occur between the two legends. These insights painted a picture of a partnership built on mutual respect, but not without its challenges. Rickles understood that fame was layered, and even the most celebrated figures had complexities and contradictions that rarely reached the audience. By the mid-1970s, Don Rickles had cemented himself as a comedy legend. His appearances on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson became must-see television, blending spontaneity, intelligence, and the kind of humor that could shock and delight simultaneously. While fans loved the chemistry on screen, it was Rickles' understanding of Carson's influence and his ability to navigate that relationship that allowed him to thrive in Hollywood's high-stakes entertainment world. Of Don Rickles' life reveals the delicate dance of ambition, respect, and humor that defined his early career. His rise to fame was not just about talent. It was about understanding the complexities of the entertainment industry, managing powerful relationships, and staying true to the fearless, witty comedian that audiences would come to adore. By the 1980s and 1990s, Don Rickles had become more than a comedian. He was a cultural icon. His sharp wit, fearless humor, and unique ability to insult without offending made him a favorite not only among audiences, but also in Hollywood circles. Yet, even as he basked in fame, Rickles' relationship with Johnny Carson remained layered with complexity. The on-screen chemistry that fans adored often masked the real truths that Rickles had observed and experienced over decades of working alongside the legendary host. Behind the cameras, Rickles had noticed nuances about Carson that few ever saw. Carson's charm and composure were impeccable, but Don also recognized the immense pressure Carson faced as the king of late-night television. The show's success rested on him, and with that responsibility came moments of rigidity, impatience, and even tension. While Carson supported Rickles' career and invited him repeatedly onto the show, Don observed instances where the legendary host's decisions were guided as much by personal preference as professional considerations. These insights were rarely shared publicly, But before his death, Rickles finally opened up, revealing candid truths about Carson's influence, personality, and the delicate balance they maintained as colleagues. Rickles' later career was also marked by his ability to adapt and thrive across multiple media platforms. Beyond television, he appeared in films, voiceover roles, and comedy specials, all while maintaining his trademark style. Fans marveled at his energy and resilience, unaware of the personal and professional challenges he faced behind the scenes. He had endured long hours, constant travel, and the relentless pressure to remain relevant in an ever-changing entertainment landscape. Rickles navigated these challenges with his characteristic humor, often deflecting tension with a perfectly timed joke. Yet the weight of decades in show business was undeniable. Perhaps most surprising were the revelations Rickles made about Carson in interviews and behind-the-scenes conversations before his death. He spoke candidly about the complexities of their relationship, the mutual respect that underpinned their work, and the subtle tensions that arose in the high-stakes environment of late-night television. Rickles acknowledged Carson's professionalism, but did not shy away from discussing moments of personal friction, shedding light on the realities of working closely with one of television's most influential figures. Fans were stunned to learn that beneath the laughter and camaraderie, there were moments of genuine challenge, negotiation, and candid observation that only someone as perceptive as Rickles could articulate. Despite the pressures and hidden tensions, Rickles' later years showcased his enduring influence on comedy and entertainment. He became a mentor to younger comedians, passing on lessons about timing, improvisation, and the art of balancing humor with humanity. His ability to remain sharp, insightful, and fearless even in his later career solidified his legacy as one of the greatest comedians of all time. Highlights the duality of Don Rickles' life, the public icon whose jokes delighted millions, and the private observer who understood the complexities, pressures, and truths of working with legends like Johnny Carson. It's a story of brilliance, perseverance, and the courage to reveal hidden truths even when the world expects only laughter. In the final years of his life, Don Rickles remained as sharp, witty, and fearless as ever. Even in his 80s, he continued performing stand-up shows, appearing in films, and delighting audiences with his trademark insult comedy. However, behind the laughter lay a reflective man, aware of his legacy and the impact he had on generations of comedians and fans alike. His passing in 2017 marked the end of an era, but it also prompted revelations that shocked Hollywood and fans, particularly regarding his relationship with Johnny Carson. Rickles had always maintained a level of respect and admiration for Carson, acknowledging the late-night host's pivotal role in shaping his career. Yet, before his death, Rickles revealed insights that no one had fully understood about their dynamic. While the public saw seamless banter and effortless humor, Don described the behind-the-scenes reality: Carson's meticulous control over the show, his subtle influence on guests, and occasional moments of tension that added layers of complexity to their friendship. These revelations surprised many, as they painted a more nuanced picture of a relationship long idealized in television history. Rickles' honesty offered fans a rare glimpse into the realities of show business, where admiration, rivalry, and professionalism often coexist in delicate balance. Beyond the revelations about Carson, Rickles' final years highlighted his enduring influence on comedy. Younger performers often cited him as a mentor and inspiration, emphasizing his fearlessness, impeccable timing, and ability to connect with audiences across generations. Rickles' career spanned decades, from smoky comedy clubs to television screens worldwide, yet he never lost the essence of what made him unique: authenticity, quick wit, and the courage to speak the truth, even when it stung. Rickles also reflected on the personal challenges of fame. While audiences adored him, the demands of constant travel, performances, and maintaining a public persona were taxing. Yet he approached these pressures with humor, resilience, and a profound understanding of his craft. Friends and colleagues noted that, despite the fame, Don remained grounded, valuing relationships, family, and the integrity of his work above all else. Ultimately, Don Rickles' last revelations about Johnny Carson, combined with his decades-long career, remind us that even the most celebrated figures have complexities hidden from the public eye. He was not just the master of insult comedy. He was a man who understood the nuances of fame, the importance of respect and honesty, and the delicate balance of personal and professional relationships. His courage to speak candidly before his passing ensures that his legacy is not only measured in laughs, but also in insight, truth, and influence. As we remember Don Rickles, it becomes clear that his life was more than jokes and television appearances. It was a testament to resilience, brilliance, and the courage to reveal what others could not. Through laughter, insight, and honesty, he left a legacy that will echo for generations, reminding us that comedy can entertain, illuminate, and reveal truths that might otherwise remain hidden.